So that brings us to our Q&A session.
Thanks, guys. Everybody, I'm gonna have to ask everybody to line up single file and only one question per person, please. Okay, first question.
My question was, you stated that you didn't want to hug arena teams, and I can totally understand that, but especially for 5v5, it's a very logistical issue to find 5 people that can consistently be on at the same time together, etc. And I was wanting to know if you're going to implement some kind of looking for arena group system where people could get together and discuss arena teams without using like a general chat channel or something like that.
Well, I think there are a couple different things that work there. So first, there's the issue of, even if you have 5 people, it can be hard to get them all at the same time. And that's actually the reason, we actually anticipated that to some degree, and that's the reason you can have more people on your team roster than actually play at once. That's why you can have 10 people on the roster, even though 5 can only play at once. That being said, obviously it's preferable if you have the exact same group of 5 people, playing consistently with each other so they can gel all the time. So I think there are a couple different problems there versus like the looking for group kind of angle if you're having a hard time finding an arena team to participate in. That's something that we can look into doing. We don't have any plans right now to add, looking for arena team into the LFG system. We do plan to do some LFG revamps for Wrath of the Lich King, some pretty significant improvements and overhauls, and that's something that we can consider at the same time.
Also, I find that the Realm forums are a great place to find them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, I'm my server Tichondrius on Monday night. Just before the Tuesday Honor rollover, if you queue for 2s, the queue times are like 10 minutes long, even though there are clearly a lot of people trying to get points the day before. I'm just wondering if there's a limitation on the number of arena matches that are able to be going on.
Yes, unfortunately that is because there are too many matches going on for the 2-on-2 format at that particular time. That is the peak time for players to be trying to get their arena matches in. And the way the matchmaking system works, unfortunately, the way our tech works, it's unable, while there's an instance in the process of spinning up, it's unable to do matchmaking for another team at the same time. And it gets so backlogged with instances spinning up, 2-on-2, 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 that it actually creates a backlog for it. That is something that we're going to look into try to improving in the future. We really don't have a quick fix for it, unfortunately. All I can really do for now is say encourage players to try to play during off-peak times. Monday night at 9 p.m. is the worst possible time if you're playing 2v2 to try to get your games in.
Next question.
Hi there. I came from Diablo, where I was an active low-level 9 to 30 dueler for a long time, and I was really excited about bringing that passion to World of Warcraft, but there's not very much level 19 and level 29 battlegrounds, and I was wondering if possibly some could open up, maybe even possibly some arenas for those brackets.
Right, that is something that we've considered. It does add some complication to the way the reward scheme works out. However, that is something that we'd be interested in doing. It's really just a question of how much demand there is for it, but it's not something that we're against doing.
I was just wondering if we can turn in battleground marks for rep again. Oh, and if anything, we have these numbers.
So, battleground marks are something we want to make sure there's still uses for. That's why we recently introduced the ability to turn in the battleground marks for potions. Really, the battleground marks are there to encourage people to move around from battleground to battleground. They're really intended for players, just so that players don't find what they think is the best honor per hour and only kind of grind themselves in the dust doing that one battleground. That being said, we'll probably end up adding more things that you can get for your Marks of Honor, but reputation probably won't be one of them, just because there isn't much you do with those battleground reputations anymore other than get a title. So if all you're going to get for it is a title, then we feel like, well, it might as well be kind of one of those interesting things that, like one of those things that really indicates that you've spent a lot of time in the battleground.
Okay, next question.
Hey, my name is Brad. I'm from GameRiot.com. We got a bunch of PvPers here who ask me questions. Most of them are from Battle Group 9. Anyone here from Bloodlust? All right, we want to know where is the arena server where we have pre-generated characters and we can pick who we play against instead of you guys picking who we play against?
Well, we actually plan on doing that to some element with the actual tournaments system. Our tournaments team is actually looking into moving toward a format where there's pre-created characters that allow you to play up any kind of matchup you need. That isn't something that we plan to integrate into the game itself, but we may integrate, at least not for rating points, because it's very exploitable as far as being able to gain ratings from. What we are interested in doing at some point in the future is being able to allow teams to match up against a team of their choice to practice, just kind of as a skirmish.
Hi, I have little notes here, but my question's about crowd control balance. And I know that y'all have done a lot of things to balance the crowd control, bring things in, like hunter's traps, polymorphs, saps, and tangling roots that are either broken on hit, have diminishing returns, or on cooldowns with polymorph for generating health. And then you have fears like Psychic Scream and Warrior Shout that are on cooldowns. And I know y'all are taking small steps, but I think the Warlock Fear needs some work because, I hear people clapping. Everybody's getting chain fear dotted up, and with the introduction of Death Coil, you got that aspect. But what I'm just thinking all about, throwing it's okay. Just what are the possibility of putting it on a cooldown, just like
All right, calm down, kids.
So CC is obviously something that we treat very carefully in WoW, and we're always looking at the balance for CC and whether there's too much of it, whether there are enough ways to get out of it, etc. I do feel like I want to do things that lessen the strength of the Warlock in the small formats like 2-on-2 to better balance it there. At the same time, I really don't want to do it at the cost of their viability in the 5-on-5. It's really very kind of tricky in that respect. I don't feel as though the fear is overpowered in the 5-on-5 format. It's an important tool, but it isn't exactly dominating the world championships or anything like that.
And we got a quick announcement before the next question.
Will Matt Lemon's parents please go to the information booth? Thank you.
Okay. And hello there. This is a question for rogues and arenas, specifically rogues versus warriors and their mobility problems with hamstring and intercept. Are there problems to adjust rogue mobility, specifically in the 5v5?
Yeah, actually, rogue mobility is one of those things that I want to look into for that 5v5 viability. I really do feel like a lot of times it's the lack of being able to put Blessing of Freedom on a rogue because you need it so badly either on the warrior or on the guy that's on being targeted by the assist train on the other team that keeps rogues from being viable. They really have their one out with the kind of improved sprint or vanish. I do think that's something that we need to get to be better for rogues.
Do you have details?
No.
Hi. I'd like to ask why hunters have to spend 2750 more points to complete their arena set compared to every other class, because we had to buy a full two-hander point for our range slot, and then we had to buy another two-hander for our melee slot. So it kind of sucks.
Right. That's a natural extension of the fact that the hunters obviously get most of their power out of their, at least relative to their other equipment slots, out of the ranged weapon slot. Whereas the ranged weapon slot really doesn't mean a whole lot for the other classes. We're going to keep looking at the balance there. We've got to find a way, potentially to cost, like one alternative we're looking at is making some one-handers or a two-hander that's made specifically for hunters, that only hunters that can purchase, that's cheaper than the other two-handed weapons. So that is something we'll look at.